Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi.
Okay.
From Chicagoland. Hi, everybody. This is another episode of Munira's Musings. How are you? Welcome to another episode with Lisa. Lisa, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So you are an author and you talk to children because I see unicorns and I have grandkids who love unicorns.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm an author of 16 books and counting. My path was I wrote business books, different books. Then I wrote a book called Skip a Step for Teens and Young Entrepreneur Minds that came with a workbook journal. And then I started doing what I wanted, which was to pursue working with children. I got to go into elementary schools and speak to students about the joys of literacy, reading, writing. And I brought it to life with my Unicorn Jazz book series. I have different characters. I have the thing I do. This is based on the show and song and being happy with Unicorn Jazz and Friends. I see you choosing kindness. We just had an ocean animal book out and more. And my joy was always reading and writing, and more importantly as a child was to write. So I'm very grateful today that I get to share the passions of reading and writing with children to inspire them.
That's awesome. But you know, this show, we bring Munira's Musings to you every week with a new guest, partly because we know that somebody out there is standing on the sideline. They have a story, they have an idea, they have something within them that they want to do, but they haven't taken the first step. So here you are with Unicorn. Okay, tell me who they are, the characters.
Okay, so this is Unicorn Jazz, and this is Traziki. We have so many characters. I brought these to life into puppets since the pandemic as a way to continue to connect with children through video and stories. And that's why I created the show that's now on Amazon TV, The Thing I Do. It started on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And it's really, I was inspired by Sesame Street growing up with their puppets and music and characters and lessons. So for me, I wanted to create something that I could do from my home studio and connect with other children nationwide. I have other kids talents like Emily Isabel, Rich Drennan, Sophia Slade, Winter Donnelly, so many kids that are Broadway singers, actors, young talent that had their time to give to really bring happiness to everybody that we serve in our community.
Okay, so, you know, first of all, why is it so important to be happy?
Well, if you're happy, then you're going to influence, inspire the people around you. As we know, love is one of the greatest things that we could do and serve within our own lives. And whether it's your family, friendship, career, the people you're connected with, or your own joy for adventure and happiness, it starts within. And so for me, my background is social psychology, and I spent my life studying human behavior. And for me, because I grew up really shy, like my character Unicorn Jazz, for me it was important to be able to create and communicate to others using storytelling, of course, bringing characters and imagination through life with the art that's done by my illustrator. And when I get to go into schools and share what makes me happy, and it's nice to inspire others, kids and adults, what things that make them happy. And essentially, happiness is free, as we know.
Okay, so you're talking about kids being happy, and kids are always happy. Tell me why adults have to be reminded as to why they should.
Yeah. Well, once we grow up and we have responsibilities, it's easy. I worked with over 150 CEOs and brands. My former career for almost 3 decades was in marketing and public relations and working with CEOs and brands. And that's why I wrote this book, Skip a Step. I interviewed 13 different notable entrepreneurs or leaders on what makes for happiness and meaning and what inspired them to create leadership within their own selves, their own organizations. And for them, money was not the most important thing. It was being told things like relationships are the most important things. People are more important, and how you treat people. And, to create is important, to have a vision. Things that kind of seem common sense when you hear them, but then to hear stories of people who have had challenges and to rise to success. And pretty much, I mean, we all have challenges. We all are going to have loss in life. I believe in a philosophy called the 5 hats to balance and happiness. And the 5 areas are family, friendship, career, connection, adventure, and how you spend your time in balancing these on a daily, weekly basis is going to be something that's important to all of us.
You bring a good point. So you said your background was in social psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And then you decided that you were working with different CEOs. Why then did you start this? And when did it start?
I started in 2018. I changed my life to then pursue what I wanted and loved. And one, it was writing. And two, I wanted to create a children's brand, a company that was beyond the books. And we've done that in just under 3 years, and very proud of the team and the people behind me, because there's many. And for me, it was one of those things that I was able to go into the elementary schools, connect with educators, teachers, librarians, parents, principals. And it just started taking off pretty quickly, where I go into schools and I speak to the entire school, and I'm able to inspire the students who are our future generation on the amazing work and collective wisdom that I've learned from so many different industries and people. Because when we're growing up, as we know, we're being encouraged to get an education. We're encouraged to, what are you going to do when you grow up? What is the career you're going to love? And if you love what you're doing, it's going to pour over into you being happier. If you love what you do, you're going to create a team of people who want to help you do the things that you love to do. That's why the thing I do is about, figuring out what your talents are. And what I learned, and many people, sometimes you can change those talents or interests when you're 30, 40, 50, and that's okay.
So what you're talking about is repurposing your talents, right?
Yeah, because if you're happy doing what you love, you're going to be fueled to do all these things in life. And when growing up, the traditional careers, be a doctor, be an attorney, be different medical, there's so much more careers out today, thanks to technology, and the pandemic has taught us that as well. And I enjoy having people know that they are different and they're unique. They're supposed to be. That's why my main character in book series, people often ask, why a unicorn? Well, unique, unicorn, we're all supposed to be different, and to celebrate those differences and perspectives.
So is that why you chose your main character? Because it was unique?
Absolutely. It was one of the main. It was also, I did research, and a unicorn is a popular global iconic figure. It's celebrated among all diversity groups. Boys and girls love unicorns. It was kind of like it was very easy for me to develop a brand around that. And in my mind, I was like, there was Hello Kitty, there's Mickey Mouse, and then now there's Unicorn Jazz. And so I'm on a mission to continue to spread the work of the great people behind the brand. And I'm so excited and thankful to get to come on a show like yours, because the more people we reach, the more that we can, share all these positive messages with people of all ages, really.
So I love what you're doing, right? It's amazing. However, let me ask you this. How does your work relate to older people? Like,
yeah, well,
I understand that you're working and making them very, very happy and everything else.
Yeah, well, at one point, I everybody was once a child. Everybody was once 7. Everybody was 10. And maybe you're in the rut, and maybe you want to help and give back. Maybe it's to serve the younger generation, or a cause, or get help and give back to others. My next book is called Help and Give Back to Others, because we've seen people of all ages, of course, including adults. Adults have to get behind the children and support them in the different ways we can come together. And as I often say, is we all can rise as happiness leaders, and it takes the collective wisdom of leaders and adults, because adults are the teachers, adults are the parents. If you're a grandparent, everyone has wisdom and talent that they can serve and give back to others. If you want to, that's just the team that we get to work with. And I enjoy all people of all ages and help and want to get involved. I have adults that send in their videos of the things that they do. And it's just so much fun because they're teaching the younger generation who are the future of what's to come. And it's very important, the future generation. And as adults, we can share our talents and time and interests. And it's so much fun to do. I mean, adults that I get to work with just have so much fun.
So let me ask you this one thing. You have this one idea. You were working with CEOs, you were a marketing agent, you were helping all that. How did this idea take fruit? How did
it was just a vision. It was something that I was always able to help other people with their vision if they had a concept and grow it into what, so I had a vision board. I knew, I was going to start with the website. I knew I was going to do a book series. I needed an illustrator. I needed, help from social media, everything that, people would need to build a company. So for me, it was I want to say it was intuitive, because I did the exact same thing many times for other CEOs or companies, big companies. I worked with Toyota before. I worked with universities. So for me, it was intuitive. It's just, you have to build the work and it takes time. And we're still early on in what we've done as a brand collectively. And I'm very proud of all the people that have been part of this.
That's awesome, right? And the fact that you just wanted to talk about 2 kids, but these books, I'm guessing, I haven't read one, but these books are not for kids. They are for adults who were once kids, right? So
the books are targeted for kids, but adults, like there's a Love Is book out there. It was trademarked. I couldn't do it, so I did Being Happy. And adults get inspired on, being their younger self. I mean, you can always be young at heart. No,
that's what I meant, is like, even though these books are targeted for kids,
oh yeah,
when parents read it to their kids, they understand, they go back in time and think, those were the good days.
It's like Sesame Street. When I watched it as a child, I watched it 2 different generations, because I have children 15 years apart. I'm watching Sesame Street. I'm not leaving them. And, I loved it as an adult. I loved it as a child. And I wanted to create a brand that was similar to that.
Awesome. This is just awesome.
Thank you.
What 3 things can you leave us? Can you give us 3 pieces of advice to the listeners that are listening? And mind you, they're kids.
Yeah, well, I encourage people of all ages to celebrate and do the things you do. And if you like whatever your hobbies are and talents, and no matter how busy you are, take the time to do the things you love, or take it up as a new skill, or share that time and talent to others. That's number 1. The second thing I would share is to continue to develop real relationships with people in your life. It's easy to get lost in the age of texting and email and social media, but to really pick up the phone, or even Zoom face-to-face calls. Of course, meeting people in person is always important. That would be the second thing. And the third thing would be is to really figure out how you can help and serve others in areas of interest that would make you happier.
That's awesome. Thank you. Because
Thank you.
As a niche navigator, when I teach people to go for their dream, and they have this idea that they've been sitting on forever and ever and ever, and they haven't done anything, what I want them to do is to take that idea and believe in it. First of all, the first thing you do is believe in it, and then take it to the next step, so that you start working on it, and then you can achieve. But most people don't, right? So what you have done is taken that one idea and encompassed it in the form of children's books.
Yeah, there's always somebody who will believe in you and champion you. That's who you want to surround yourself with. My first book, Unicorn Jazz, moves to a new land in search of new friends and feels like she doesn't belong until she meets a crow named Wolf who believes in her and encourages her to to sing, which is one of her talents, and that makes her happy. And she has lots of friends, and there's a song called the Unicorn Jazz Friendship Song, and there's always someone that you can that can believe in you. And I always say, hey, maybe you believe in someone else, and that can be really life-changing, like you said.
Yeah, you need that one person in life, right? And that's awesome. So how do people find you, Lisa?
Yes, I'm Lisa Caprelli. You could find me at lisacaprelli.com. I'm also unicornjazz.com. We're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Would love to connect with people. If you're an educator, teacher, librarian, principal, would love to come to your school, whether it's virtual or in person, as we continue to tour with all the changes with the pandemic that are to come. And I just enjoy continuing to connect with people and to inspire and encourage the children who are our future.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on our show. And for those of you listening, if you like this show, please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe, because you never know who you're going to inspire. You need that one person to believe in you, and you need to believe in somebody else. So let's go pass it along. And until next week, we'll find a new guest, and have a good week.
Thanks, Marna.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group.